Yo, 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 it's your boy Nelly Swish. Right now, we currently at Brookfield, you know what I'm saying? And this is going to be the first episode of Swish Speaks, you know what I'm saying? It is currently 5:18 p.m., it's Thursday. And definitely, for starters, this is going to be something I'll do pretty much every single Friday of the year. It's 52 weeks in a year, so therefore it's going to be 52 different episodes. Well, not really episodes, it's really just a segment. I'm gradually gonna get better with it along the way, and I'm gonna like progressively keep on like expanding and things of that nature. But for this first very one is the very first one, so I guess this is pretty special in a way, I guess you could say. But I'm really just gonna be touching upon like what makes a good athlete, what makes a star player, what makes a good coach, and pretty much a whole bunch of basketball politics. See, I'm a personal trainer, right? I train a whole bunch of different sports, but I'm mainly just gonna focus upon like at least like in general. If it's gonna be in general, then it's gonna make what takes becoming like a good athlete and what doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Whether like I'm speaking upon like work ethic and things of that sort. But for the most part, though, I'm just gonna like solely focus on like basketball. You know what I'm saying? I'm a basketball player. I play basketball. I've been playing basketball since I was like 4 years old. My uncles put basketball in my hand, you know what I'm saying? I went over to college, high school, middle school. I'm basketball oriented everywhere I go, and I really love the game, you know what I'm saying? I've been around top tier athletes my whole life. I've been around guys who made it to the NBA. I've been around guys who played Division I college basketball, D2, D3, JUCO, top tier high school basketball programs, low tier high school basketball programs. So I really get like a huge glimpse of like all of basketball pretty much around, like, you know what I'm saying? Everywhere. From New York City too, so it's real nit gritty from where I'm from. But yeah, without any further ado, this is the very first segment of Swish Speaks, and I'm really just trying to like really speak upon the work that you have to put in for preseason, right? So everybody knows like all season is the time when you're supposed to be getting better. We all know this. I want to touch upon like pretty much the effects of how you come into the next following season based upon like the work you have put in, because some people utilize the summertime and the off-season grind to really like get better with their weaknesses, get better with their strengths, you know what I'm saying, like just overall become a better basketball player. Whether you're taking care of your body, you weren't that strong prior to the whatever season you were just in, and then the following season you become better strength wise and everything like that. I believe that all seasons for all of that, you know. So I'm actually a high school basketball coach myself too as well. And with that being said, it's like a lot of the players that I work with and a lot of players that I coach, from what I see, right, you really could tell that not everybody actually takes the off season as serious as they really are supposed to. Certain guys go into the off season and go into the summer and everything like that, really coming back ready to hoop. And I'm talking about look completely different. I'm talking about they hit the weight room, they condition, like their jump shot is much better. Their last season they probably didn't have a left hand. Now this season they have a left hand, right? The off season, right? And all my athletes, please listen to me when I tell you this. The off season is where you put in all the work you need to put in order to be better for the next season. Because let me tell you this, right? I was a player once upon a time. I'm now a coach, right? And I still play to this day. I'm just 24 years old. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking to go back to school to get my master's and really expand and just be better overall, right? Y'all need to take the off season serious. Like, bro, seriously. Y'all coming into the next season thinking that we owe y'all something. Like as coaches, we don't owe y'all nothing, honestly. We know who our players are going into the next following season, but for the most part, right, y'all gotta focus on your conditioning and once again your weaknesses. Everybody always wants to just work on everything that they're already good at. If you know damn well you got good basketball handles, why not work on something else that can add on to the basketball handles? Now, why not work on your playmaking ability? You have good basketball handles, right? So therefore, you really not gonna get too much turnovers. You're not going to have much turnovers. You know how to control the basketball. The ball is glued to your hands. Why not focus on your playmaking abilities? If you're strong, but you can't really shoot properly, whatever. Just to say, you know what I'm saying? This is all examples. Work on your jump shooting. Work on your range. You're stronger, so therefore you know what I'm saying? You got much more of a little touch in terms of your distance of shooting and everything like that. And as for even your shooting abilities, everybody needs to be a top tier shooter. Like in this day and age of basketball, you have to be a top tier shooter. If you cannot shoot the basketball, you know what I'm saying? Like if you cannot shoot the basketball at a high clip, especially for a shorter guard and just shorter people in general. Like I'm from Staten Island, right? So everybody on Staten Island is a point guard. Like I don't care what your coach says or tells you, what system y'all have, or whatever the case is. If you actually see yourself going to the next level and playing basketball there, if you're not a legit, I'd say possibly maybe even 6'6" and up, you're not a big. You're not, bro. NBA, collegiate level, Division 1 level, D2, whatever the case is, you are a guard. Work on your basketball handles, work on your jump shooting, just simply work on things that's gonna correlate to you and your play style and the play style that you will have to adapt to in the long run, especially if you see that you want to play at the next level. You get what I'm saying? But touching back to off season, if you are heavy, let's say you're a bigger kid, more so bigger than average weight or whatever the case is. I know I'm really speaking on the kids from like ranges of like 14 to like 18. If you know you're bigger than the average, your off season should be dedicated to you losing weight and you conditioning and you simply getting better so that you can be ready to play. Running back and forth down the court is not an easy task to do. So if you're not busting your ass in the off season, conditioning and bettering your size and your weight, you're doing yourself like injustice basically. Like you're not doing yourself a good service. You don't have good basketball handles. This past going season, you've been turning the basketball over a lot. You've been getting ripped a lot. Work on your shit. Work on your shit and get better at the things that you don't know how to do. I'm gonna repeat that. The off season is when you work on things that you don't know how to do, what you're not good at. Everything that is your weakness should be the main focal point into whatever it is that you're trying to work on to improve your game. It has to be. It just has to be. That's the way it has to be. Trust me. Don't come into next season thinking that whatever you were doing the previous season is going to get better because you feel like you put in somewhat quote-unquote work. You was working on your jump shot, you go out and shoot. You was doing bullshitting, playing pick-up basketball against your local friends that you've been cooking since y'all was freaking 7, 8 years old, and you thinking you're doing something because you're just better than them. No, bro. Focus on the details. Like, everything is really attention to detail. You have to be very attentive to the detail of the work that you put in. Make sure you're getting your runs in, yes, of course. Make sure you're playing against your friends, you're playing AU basketball, you're traveling, you're hooping. But in terms of it all, how better are you getting as an individual basketball player? If you're a bad defender, watch film. Work on your defensive game. Basketball, I realized, like, from this season of me coaching, everybody is so offensive oriented, and that's not even at the highest peak either, because the offense is terrible too. But everybody's so offensive, like, set in a way, offensive minded, where it's like defensively it's shit. Basketball is offense and defense. Work on both sides of the floor. Work on your skill set for both. Become a better defender. Work on that. And that all goes back into making sure you take conditioning serious. It's hard to come down the court, get a bucket, and then come back down and then have to guard somebody. It's hard doing that. So make sure your conditioning is top tier during the off season. That's one of the major things you should be working on throughout the off season. Just making sure your body is right. You got to be physically ready in order to play the game of basketball. You have to be. That's one. Let's touch back on your shooting. Yo, get shots up, man. Like, yo, get hundreds and hundreds and thousands of shots up. I'm talking about different variations of even just putting the basketball in the basket too. Work on your finishing. Expand over to your form shots. Expand over to your floaters, your runners, then your middies, your threes. Yo, just get the basketball in the hoop as much as you possibly can throughout your off season. Work on your shit. Work on your game over and over and over. Work on your shot. Work on your mechanics. If you know you couldn't shoot at a high clip the previous season, make sure that the following season you're shooting at a much more higher clip because you know you put the work in behind it. The off season is super important, and it can also be very detrimental to how you perform for the next season. If you didn't take your off season work serious the previous summer or the previous off season, and you expect to come into the next following season lighting shit up or just being a completely different basketball player, you're doing yourself a disservice. You really are. Because whatever you thought that you can get away with, you gotta understand, everybody else is working 10 times harder. Everybody else is in the gym. Everybody else is doing the things that you're not doing. So therefore, the gap level of where you once were may not be there for the next season. And I see this a lot with a lot of JV players. Guys think because they may have been a certain way at the JV level, junior varsity level, that they can possibly get away with certain things because they feel like, oh, I'm just gonna go and see some of the guys that I've seen at the JV level. It don't work like that. Some people get bigger, stronger, faster, taller. Now the skill set and also the size gap completely varies and is completely different now. It's a whole different ball game. Certain guys who weren't really good defenders back then may have grew 3 inches or 4 or an inch or 2. Now they're much more of a different defensive presence. You may not be able to get a shot off that you used to get over them before. So that's why in the off season you work on your shit. You work on going up against different types of people, different skill sets, different levels of basketball. That's where you get better at. I see throughout the summertime, kids think that just playing in local tournaments and playing pickup basketball, like, don't get it twisted. Basketball is basketball at the end of the day. If you hooping and you got a great feel for the game, you're going to be a really good player, but it only goes as far as that. Now, focusing on the details behind the game that you work on for yourself and your individual skill set, whether it's a jab step, whether you're working on combo moves or combo set dribble moves, or even your post-up game or your basketball handles, understanding how to get to your spot a little bit better, getting your shot off quicker. Those are things right there that if you translate to your game, it's going to be completely different. You're going to be hooping at a much more higher clip and at a much more higher rate. You get what I'm saying? You're going to be shooting at a much more higher rate. You're going to be taking better, higher percentage shots because you understand how to be able to get to your spot. And then on top of it, if that's your hot spot and that's some place that you've been working on, it's muscle memory. It's like, oh shit, y'all been shooting this corner 3 all freaking off season. I've been knocking this shit down. At that point, it's like muscle memory. You're going to be knocking it down over and over and over and over again because of all the reps that you have put in. Everything is reps. Reps. You have to be able to put the reps in. You got to be able to grind. Reps. Doing something over and over and over and over again. Not until you mess up or whatever the case is, or you feel like you can't mess up. It's about doing this shit until you can't get it wrong anymore. A lot of people think, yo, I made 5 free throws in a row. Yo, I made 10 in a row. Yo, I made 20 in a row. That's nice, that's amazing. But doing that shit over and over and over and over again until it becomes the norm, that's where you really see a complete difference in terms of how it is that you are with your approach to the game and how you will look towards the game. If you're able to knock down 20 free throws today, and then the next day you can't do that shit, what good was it for you when you really only did it once? Basketball is a repetitive thing. It's a repetitive game. It's all year round and repetitive. Can you do what you just did the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day? Because you can have one good, great season, and then people could look at you like, yo, oh shit, he's so nice. The next season, you come down, you shit the bed. It's like, what the fuck? Damn, what happened? You got to be that consistent person who could really like provide it, and you show progression, you know what I'm saying? And that all goes down to the off season. And I'm not gonna keep y'all long because really this is really just a general talk that I'm gonna be doing throughout every single week. Some weeks may be longer than others, some may not be. And I definitely want to be able to edit this video and put this out there for tomorrow. January 2nd is January 1st right now. When you like really understand the real dedication and the grind behind basketball, bro, you understand that this is an all year around thing, right? A lot of the people that I've been like watching over the course of the years, even some of the people that I train, right? I love them all. But I see the work ethic behind some, and it just doesn't, it's not something where I can say like, yo, at the next level, you're gonna get away with this, or at the next level, you'll be XYZ. Because some people only train and only do certain things only for the off season, and forget that during the basketball season, you still got to be able to put the work in. You still got to take care of your body. You still got to go in the weight room and get stronger and get better throughout the whole year. You can't just go to practice and say, okay, I'm done with practice. Go home, you eat some freaking snacks, you gain freaking 5 pounds over the span of a month or whatever the case is, and you think just by going to practice is doing enough for you. Hell no. No. After practice, you got to be able to still go to the gym, go put up some shots. Still go to the gym, go lift some weights. Still go to the gym, go condition. You still got to get better with shit. So I see a lot of the people that I worked with, and even like kids that I just pay attention to, the work is only being done off season. The off season grind is where it's at though, 100%. That's where you really got to put the work in to really become a whole different basketball player. But it doesn't stop when you are in season. Some teams and some programs may not have the resources that others may have, where like it's all year round access to the basketball gyms or whatever. But if this is something that you really want to do and really want to make it to the next level doing, you're going to be willing to put the work in all year round. So to wrap this up, man, I'm just going to say, the all season grind is really where it's at. You got to make sure you stay dedicated to what it is that you're trying to be better at. Focus on your weaknesses. Get better at your weaknesses. Focus on what it is that's going to progress your game and take you to the next level all the time. And just because the whole season grind is really where it's at in terms of your progression in basketball does not mean you should stop the same habits of getting shots up, getting extra shots up, going to the weight room, putting in that extra work, extra set throughout the season too. Because just as you are getting better in the off season, which everybody else may also be doing as well, some people take in-season grind a bit more serious as well. How much are you putting up during the season? You go to practice. Are you the person that just go to practice and then go home? Or are you the person that works out before practice, before school, then go to school, then work out after school, go to practice, work out after practice? What type of person are you? So for everybody who's watching this, man, if you are an athlete, take a look at yourself in the mirror. Ask yourself, was my all-season grind really worth it for the way I am, really hooping this season, basically is what I'm trying to say. Did you really put the work in this off-season to hoop the way that you are or wanted to hoop for this season? Or was it just like going through the motions? Take a look at yourself in the mirror. Try to understand yourself. Try to look at yourself, see if you can tap in with like a trainer, see who can help you get better, watch film, make sure you go to the gym. If you're grinding on your own, go hoop. Just make sure you are consistently and constantly focusing on how to get yourself better as a basketball player and as an individual in the game of basketball. Whether you are focusing on your ball handling, your shooting, your finishing, focus on your weaknesses and continue what's the word I'm really trying to look for? It's really like progress. Progression is key, yes, but it's more in depth of what I'm really trying to focus on. So I'm just going to bring it back over to the attention to detail, right? And for those that's watching this too, everything that I'm going to be doing is raw and uncut. I'm not going to be doing X, Y, Z. Like, nah, I want to give it pause. I want to give it to y'all raw. Time out on the play, flagrant, ref, he's out there. But I definitely want to give y'all much more of like a deeper dive into things, because I want y'all to really, I'm really talking to y'all. And this is what this segment on Swish Athletics is really going to be about. It's really going to be me sit down and just simply just talking to y'all, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking to y'all like how I would talk to any one of the people that I train, how I would talk to any one of my peers, etc., etc. But hey, man, with that being said, it's going to be episode 1 of Swish Speaks, man. Stay tuned for next week. For week 2, I'm going to figure out what I'm going to be talking about. Y'all going to know possibly sometime next week as well. I'm going to put up like a flyer or something like that. But hey, this is ep.1 talking about all season grind. Let's get it, man. Swish Speaks. Be out.